So karibuni sana. We have a statement to make. You are aware that 3 or 2 weeks ago, we were at Eliud Kipchoge Sports Complex receiving the Public Service Commission report on the HR audit that was done in Nandi County. And once we received the report, we have analyzed, looked at the recommendations, and we have a statement to make with regard to implementation of the findings and recommendations of the Public Service Commission report with regard to the human resource audit. So the statement reads as follows. The national and county governments recognized that there is an unsustainable high wage bill in both levels of government. Following the resolution of the 10th summit of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, SRC, vide letter dated 8th of February 2024, the SRC issued an advisory to county governments to develop strategies and action plans for wage bill sustainability to achieve a 35% wage bill to revenue ratio in county governments. The Salaries and Remuneration Commission convened the 3rd National Wage Bill Conference that was held on 15th to 17th of April 2024, and the theme of the conference was towards 35%. Part of the resolutions of the conference was a commitment to reduce counties' wage bill in compliance with the Public Finance and Management Act, PFM Act of 2012, by 2028. The county government of Nandi, on the 27th March 2024, wrote to Public Service Commission requesting the Public Service Commission to assist the county government in conducting a comprehensive audit on human resource, personnel practices, and staff payroll. The objective of the audit was to identify areas contributing to the high wage bill and make recommendations on how the county government of Nandi could address the same. The other objectives of the audit by the Public Service Commission was, one, to establish the effectiveness and strategies and action plans for the wage bill sustainability. Number 2, to establish the county staffing and payroll management compliance status with acceptable standards, operating procedures, best practices, and the relevant laws, policies, and the service regulations. The third one was to identify the operational gaps and weaknesses in payroll management and performance frameworks that impede physical sustainability of the wage bill. The other objective was to confirm the correctness, efficiency, effectiveness of payroll system. And the other one was to ensure consistency of human resource management with constitutional requirements, relevant laws, service regulations, policies, and procedures. And the other one, number 6, is to establish the compliance of the recruitment processes. Number 7, establish the accuracy of employee pay records, the compliance with existing laws, policies, and guidelines regarding the computation of earnings and recovery of deductions. Number 8, review the organizational structure and staff establishment. And finally, to build the capacity and provide technical support to the county government. The Public Service Commission appointed a technical team which did data collection between May 13th and 14th of June 2024. And the exit meeting was held on the 18th of July 2024. The audit report was presented and approved by the Public Service Commission Board on 1st of August, and the report was handed over to the county government on 15th of August 2024 at the Eliud Kipchoge Sports Complex. The audit covered human resource practices in the county departments, which evaluated and analyzed against the information in the IPPD system, the staff registers, applicable laws, policies, and procedures. An analysis of the payroll management revealed that there were several areas where payments of salaries and allowances may have been inflated, thus contributing to high wage bill. Inflation of payments may have been occasioned through the operation of manual payroll, payments of special salaries, salary arrears, and arbitrary placement of officers in higher salary points and higher job groups. There were inconsistencies in the number of staff receiving payments for hardship allowance over the period. From the audit, it was ascertained that 1, some of the staff benefited directly from the irregular recruitment process through fraudulent and illegal acquisition of appointment letters without adhering to the established procedures, policies, and laws. Number 2, there was manipulation of the IPPD system by integration of irregular, illegal, and unprocedural letters into the IPPD system. Number 3, there is variation in the terms of service of staff in the IPPD, where manipulation to higher job groups, entries of some of the officers, payment of irregular salaries, allowances, arrears, higher salary points, and unauthorized translations of terms from contract to PNP within the IPPD system was detected. And 4th, there was lack of proper checks and controls relating to the IPPD data, where the staff pay changes did not adhere to the laid down procedure approval levels in the IPPD system. The report of the Public Service Commission spelled out the following recommendations, among others, to enhance public service management. Number 1, to fast-track the establishment of its organizational structure and staff establishment to determine the optimal staffing levels and managing the reconciliation of staff data to ensure alignment with the career progression guidelines. The organizational structure has since been established and is currently being implemented. And you will remember that on the same day we were receiving the report, we actually launched the Nandi County organizational structure and staff establishment. Number 2, that the county undertakes payroll cleansing to ensure consistency of employees' details, to include review of data on the payment of allowances, salary arrears, arbitrary placement of staff, and expunging from the records of the IPPD system as a result of any irregular and fraudulent appointment letters. Number 3, undertake staff headcount to confirm the number of employees serving within the county public service, and weed out any ghost workers, if any. Number 4, conduct capacity building in various areas, including IPPD management, records management, report and minutes writing, and finally, institute disciplinary action against the officers who facilitated irregularities in the human resource and payroll management system within the county. Following the recommendations of the Public Service Commission and noting that some of the individuals in the County Public Service Board and Payroll Unit have been colluding to issue irregular and fake appointment letters, some through fraudulent means, and that such appointments found their way into the payroll system, the county government of Nandi now undertakes the following measures to enhance public service management. Number one, in line with the recommendations of the Public Service Commission, the Nandi County Public Service Board notifies the general public that any appointment letter issued or obtained and procedurally and fraudulently to anyone is a nullity. And consequently, the responsible department has expunged any resultant entry into the payroll. And I want to repeat that. In line with the recommendation of the Public Service Commission, the Nandi County Public Service Board notifies the general public that any appointment letter issued or obtained and procedurally and fraudulently to anyone is a nullity. And consequently, the responsible department has expunged any of those resultant entries in the payroll. Number two, the general public is also hereby informed that the procedure for appointment to any position or vacancy within the county public service can only be filled upon a declaration of the vacancy through an advert, application process, shortlisting, interview, selection, appointment, and finally placement. And anyone who has an appointment letter that did not follow this procedure is hereby informed that that letter is a nullity. Number three, the payroll officers have been suspended to facilitate investigations into the irregularities in the payroll system as highlighted by the Public Service Commission report. The county government has referred the matter to the Directorate of Criminal Investigations for further action. Additionally, staff within the payroll unit, human resource department, and the county public service board, together with individuals who obtained appointment letters, who issued and obtained appointment letters illegally and procedurally and fraudulently, are under investigations by the DCI for the said fraud, bribery, and any other related offenses. Number four, the county government has commenced disciplinary action against those found culpable and shall also initiate recovery of funds that the county government may have lost by the said involvement in irregularities and illegalities. Number five, the county government shall immediately analyze the affected service delivery units within the departments and undertake a new process of recruitment in strict compliance with the existing procedures, policies, and laws to minimize disruption of service delivery. And finally, a complaints desk shall be set up in every department to receive complaints from staff or anyone, and especially those who might have been scammed of their hard-earned money in the name of employment, fake employment letters in the county, in the Nandi County Public Service, through the perpetuated bribery, fraud, irregularities, and illegalities. That is the end of my statement. And if we have one or two questions from members of the press, but that is the comprehensive statement from ourselves. But the numbers are part, it's part of the investigation that is ongoing. So the numbers will, as the letters, as I have indicated, we can't tell how many letters are out there, but the statement is clear that anybody who has an appointment letter for any position or vacancy that did not follow the laid down legal procedures, which include an advert, application, interview, shortlisting, interview, selection, and finally appointment and placement. Anybody with that kind of a letter knows that that letter is, or is now informed that that letter is a nullity. So the numbers will come out as the process is implemented. But this is the, we are strictly, and you remember, if you guys can remember when we were at the presentation of the report by the Public Service Commission, the chairman clearly indicated that this is not going to be an easy exercise. But we have agreed as the county government of Nandi that the resolution of the wage bill conference, the commitment that we gave, and the directives that we were given, that all county governments must manage their wage bill. We as a county government have taken this bold step to undertake this process and procedures. So we are asking everybody, this is a matter of national interest. Nandi County will be an example to many other counties in ensuring that the resolutions that were given by the wage bill conference, and that we invited a constitutional commission called the Public Service Commission, whose mandate is exactly to do what we asked them to do. And we as a county government are committed to implementing the report by the Public Service Commission. I have already added, I've already indicated from the recommendations of the process that will happen, that will be followed. And the process are clear. I have just said the Public Service Board has made a finding. The Public Service Commission, through the report, made a finding. It has given recommendations. What we are only doing right now is implementing the recommendations of the report by the Public Service Commission. The audit was done. The process was already followed. So we are just implementing the report, the HR audit report by the Public Service Commission. So that process, sorry? Of course, the number of staff varies every other time. If there is additional staff in the public service board or in the public service, then the numbers changes. But now we have this process that is going to now give us the actual. One of the things that we have mentioned here is head count, and you have had it already here. So we have had previous, internal audit processes that did not yield the desired results because the people who are conducting the same audit are the same staff. We did not use external. That is why we decided that for us to be able to get independent, accurate results, then we had to go for an independent entity. And the independent entity that we chose as the county government of Nandi is the constitutional body given the responsibility, and that is the Public Service Commission. So the process here is independent because you are dealing with a constitutional commission whose mandate is exactly to deal with the public service, sector, having been invited, and they did their process, and they have now given us the recommendations. What the county government of Nandi is now doing is just to implement the outcome, the findings, and the outcome of the public service human resource audit. And if you remember, it was indicated by the public service that this job that they came to do in Nandi, in many other counties, they are asked by court. They have done HR audit on account of a court order. Nandi County happens to be the first county that has invited the Public Service Commission on its own motion to support it with the with the human resource management process. The process starts immediately. Some of the processes have their own timelines. So we want to say that the process of implementation starts immediately. Yeah, in the course of next week, the document will be provided to the county assembly. And therefore, as it goes to the county assembly, it's public already. And I hope as you have that information, one of the challenges that we have had with this challenge of fake appointment letters is that people say that appointment letters are being sold, but then nobody wants to come up and give that information. I can tell you, this process and that is why when we conducted the human resource audit through the Public Service Commission, some of the details that have come out are details that you couldn't have gotten if you did with an internal process. Now we have an external process, all those details, and once you nullify, like the Public Service Board has already nullified those letters, the truth is you will now hear people coming out openly and saying, but this letter that I have that has been nullified was given to me by so and so, and I paid this amount. What I want to encourage, anybody who got a letter through bribery, or you had to be induced, or you had to pay money, now the opportunity for us to deal with this monster once and for all. And I am hoping that anybody who has been affected will not cover anybody who may have taken money. So we are going not just for the small fish, for whichever fish that played a role in the issuance of these illegal and procedural and fake appointment letters. And the commitment that I want to give, Since this is the first time a county government is inviting Public Service Commission to come and deal with this issue, the commitment, and even when the Public Service Commission gave us the report, they had doubts that we were going to have the sufficient courage to actually implement the recommendations. I want to give the commitment of myself and the Deputy Governor that we are going to implement this report fully, and that anybody who, in one way or another, played a role, whatever the role, whoever that person is, will have to face the consequences. And I do not want to make a lot of promises. You will see, starting from today, all the way to next, you will see, I mean, the process is going to be open. You will see the consequences of what action that we have taken. And I know that out of this whole process, we will ensure that any staff that is properly working within the county properly gets what is rightfully allocated to them. We have people who moved job groups, 2, 3, 4 job groups within 1 year, while we have staff who may have stayed for more than 8 years and they have never been promoted. That level of disparity and that level of impunity that was perpetuated under the circumstances that has been highlighted by this report will be addressed. So the implementation of this report will end up giving us, 1, a professional, 2, a motivated, 3, an accountable public service in Nandi County. And that we will also be able to save, we will also be able to save resources to ensure that the public service staff are well taken care of, but more of those resources that are always lost in some of these irregularities then find their way to the development programs within the county. And I have also indicated that we know some of our service delivery units will be affected by this directive. We will quickly work with every department to identify what are those areas that are being service delivery units that are being affected. We will quickly do an assessment, establish the number of staff that are required or that are being affected in those departments. We will now, moving forward, ensure that there is an advert for specific positions. The process will be open and to the public. You remember when we had the meeting with the Gen Zs here? What part of the Public Service Commission report actually agrees with some of those concerns that were raised by the Gen Zs that we had a meeting with them, who are saying that we need to have an open recruitment process. Moving forward, every staff and every position will be recruited in accordance with the law, starting with an advert, secondly with interviews, and the successful candidate will get the appointment letter that merits the position and in accordance with the law. Again, one of the things that came out here is that there is a recommendation to verify the academic qualification of all our staff. Again, that is the next part of the recommendation that we are going to implement. We will verify all the academic qualifications. Anybody with a fake academic qualification that was forwarded to the County Public Service Board, and now somebody has a job or a promotion on account of a fake academic qualification, that is also a matter that is going to be dealt with properly. So I can tell you the commitment, the implementation, no, please. The implementation of this report is going to be thorough. It is going to be ground shaking. There will be interest that will be trying to sabotage the implementation of this process. I want to give the commitment. This is going to be dealt with. We will implement it, and it has the greatest political goodwill, and we will do it whatever it takes so that we can have a public service that is accountable, responsive, and that can deliver services to the great people of Nandi County. Asanteni sana.